Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a special edition of NXT. This is called NXT New Year's Evil. I want to say happy holidays to you as we are just coming off a massive weekend that was NXT TakeOver and Survivor Series War Games. Monday Night Raw was a tremendous success. With Day 1 Raw, we got New Year's Evil NXT right now, and then we get New Year's Revolution, SmackDown coming up very shortly. But Adam Pearce, the NXT General Manager, is here tonight in Orlando, Florida, for the special edition of NXT. And I'm sure Mr. Adam Pearce is going to have plenty to say and to address to this NXT roster as we are just 6 weeks away from NXT Deadline. Welcome to this very special edition of NXT New Year's Evil. We're coming off a tremendous weekend of NXT TakeOver and Survivor Series. Now for this roster here, we're going to be setting our eyes on NXT Deadline, which is just going to be 6 weeks away. At this premium live event, we'll be having 2 Iron Survivor matches, one for the men's division and for the women's division. Both matches will see 5 competitors in each match, and it will be in an Iron Man match setting. The match will be a 25-minute time limit, and the person with the most falls will walk out winner and face the champion at NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. Earlier on this week, we did release the 10 men and the 10 women superstars that will be competing in this qualifying type of matchup to see if they can earn themselves an opportunity to get themselves to NXT Deadline. The first 4 matches tonight, 2 matches for men and 2 matches for the women, we'll see Will Ospreay take on Jericho, Dragon Lee versus Jay White, Roxanne Perez takes on Sonya Deville, as well as Raine takes on Zoey Stark. Not only tonight, we'll be witnessing those matches for that NXT Deadline pay-per-view, what will be happening in 6 weeks' time. Tonight, we have ourselves a massive NXT North American Championship matchup as Tony D'Angelo will be using his Breakout Tournament win opportunity. He will be using that and cashing it in on the North American Champion Mustafa Ali tonight in your main event. Also, I'd like to congratulate Tiffany Stratton with a massive win over Charlotte Flair at NXT TakeOver. Massive win, and like I've mentioned before, she is definitely the future of NXT, and she continues to shine bright, and she looked very well in that triple threat at Survivor Series as well. Came a bit short, but ultimately, she is our top woman. That is why she's your NXT Women's Champion. And one last thing, ladies and gentlemen, I do have an announcement regarding your NXT United Kingdom champion Sting, who knocked off Goldberg at NXT TakeOver. He will be here tonight, and from what I'm being told, he has a major announcement regarding that championship, so we'll definitely keep our eyes and ears out for that announcement later on tonight. But let's go ahead and kick us off for NXT tonight. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for this special edition of NXT. Already hearing from your NXT General Manager, and sounds like we are kicking us off with 4 of our massive matches tonight that are going to be involved in that NXT Deadline. Essentially, it's qualifying matches to get into that matchup, so the winner of this matchup will become one of the members in that Iron Survivor matchup. And like Adam Pearce said, there's going to be 5 members of that match. So it's going to be 5 men in their match, 5 women in their match. And it's going to be a 25-minute Iron Man match, an Iron Woman match. And with the man or woman who has the most pinfalls or submissions in 25 minutes will walk out victorious. And they will go on to challenge the champion of, it's either, as of right now, it'd be Kenny Omega, the NXT champion, and even Tiffany Stratton, the NXT Women's champion, to a championship match live at NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. That's 12 weeks away, but at Deadline, we are officially 6 weeks away. Massive stuff coming our way, ladies and gentlemen. And with the 10 superstars from each side for the men's and women's side, I mean, there's so much potential. I mean, there's a lot of superstars that you might think, oh, hey, there's an opportunity for them to have their breakout moment. And especially with this superstar right here, Will Ospreay. This will be his official NXT debut. He did have his first ever pay-per-view appearance Saturday night at NXT. He did fall up a bit short. He did lose via that 1916 from Finn Balor of the Judgment Day. But this is going to be a whole different ball game, ladies and gentlemen. Will Ospreay considers himself one of the best in the entire world, Mr. 5-star himself. And we'll see with Will Ospreay what exactly he's going to be bringing to the table here in NXT. He sure has got himself a lot of pyro for sure, but now he's facing off with one of the best of all time, that being Chris Jericho. Bound to be a good back and forth matchup. Obviously, we've heard all about the stuff that Will Ospreay has done on the independents, but we'll see how he fares here tonight here in NXT, as this is his official NXT debut in singles action here on NXT, and it's a special night. It's not no ordinary NXT. This is one of those NXTs that has something to really fight for tonight. This crowd is going absolute nuts right now, as they should. Referee has officially rung the bell. Here we go. Who is going to NXT TakeOver Deadline? Chris Jericho going to kick us off with a major sleeper hold, trying to put Will Ospreay away right away. Why not? Try and take this kid's debut away from him. Jericho hasn't really had much of anything going these last couple months, but maybe getting himself a massive win here over Will Ospreay, one of the best in the world, would certainly help himself out here. And certainly Jericho, he loves to call himself the best to ever do it. But certainly, something's got to give in this matchup. It's now Jericho. I don't know what he was absolutely thinking here. Look at that! What a cutter there from Will Ospreay. Holy crap, I've not really seen that too much besides one from Cody Rhodes. But that's awesome, and so is that maneuver. Will Ospreay pulling all sorts of maneuvers out in this matchup, and you're going to see all sorts of different maneuvers in these type of matches, because a lot of these superstars, yes, they want to be in this Iron Man type of Iron Survivor type of matchup. It's going to be a long 25 minutes, but to dig down deep and get the most pinfalls or submissions, you'll definitely have to strategize how you want to be in these matches, because that 25 minutes, it will catch up to you. As Will Ospreay now, look at this. He's looking for the Styles Clash. Down goes Jericho. Will Ospreay not done though, looking to put away Jericho very quickly. Gonna go for that underhook. Oh no, he's not. Oh my goodness, almost like the silencer there from Will Ospreay. That may be enough. Is that enough? No, Jericho kicks out at 2.5. And obviously when you take on a man like Jericho, it is not going to be easy to put him away. He's been around this business for a very long time. He's faced the best of the best. And look at Will Ospreay just kind of toying with Chris Jericho, it feels like. But when you're facing off with a legend like Chris Jericho, you got to be very careful when you do those type of situations to an older superstar like that, because they've been around so long that they're like, okay, hey, you give me a couple seconds just to catch my breath real quick, bam, I'm gonna make you regret just giving me any time to recuperate. Right into that apron there. That is not going to be feeling too good. As now Jericho again looking to capitalize this. Oh, come on. We've seen these plenty of times in the past with the late great Eddie Guerrero now. And Jericho with the Three Amigos to the outside. Oh, goodness. Jericho taking Ospreay to the woodshed outside here. Jericho gonna rub it in this crowd's face right now. Will Ospreay, ooh, what a German suplex. Folding him like an accordion there. Now Will Ospreay going back to work here after definitely suffering some damage there outside here. Will Ospreay's all fired up. He's trying to get this crowd behind him right now. Like we mentioned before, ladies and gentlemen, more big matches for you. Like we mentioned, the total of those 4 Iron Man / woman matches later on tonight, especially that main event, though, should be off the charts. That NXT North American Championship matchup. Adam Pearce failing to say that this matchup is not only for the NXT North American Championship, but Mustafa Ali's career is on the line as well. So we'll see how that fares for him later on tonight. Oh, going for that spinning elbow. Chris Jericho has won some matches with that spinning elbow, but it didn't work out in his favor, though. And now Ospreay going to try to go to the drawing board, though. That certainly will help you out there as much as it can. Oh, my goodness. That certainly won't be feeling good. Jericho blocking that big boot to his face there. And down goes Ospreay. And Jericho again going to continue just to dissect Will Ospreay, one of the bigger names, one of the bigger signings in NXT's history. We've certainly saw a lot of big names joining up to NXT over the last year, certainly, and it's definitely been a roller coaster type of emotions compared to, you know, previous years, with just the terms of what we've seen with not just the men's and women's division, but in just general, and especially for the general managers, going from Triple H to Bret Hart to then right now Adam Pearce, and hopefully Adam Pearce will be a long stay for the foreseeable future, but you just never know. It's Jericho again, just trying to keep Ospreay down, but Ospreay does not want to stay down. Slowly but surely, Jericho trying to think of a game plan to keep this young man down. Will it work? You never know, but certainly Jericho going to do his best to try to keep him down. No, that spinning elbow out of nowhere. Certainly, that could be it. 2. No, Ospreay kicks out at 2.5. And Jericho has been trying to set that up this whole matchup, but it has not worked out in his favor. But now, Jericho going to try to flip him over. And yep, he's got it cinched in. The walls of Jericho are locked in. Will Ospreay have to tap out? This is his NXT debut in singles action. Will he tap out? Jericho just laying that in on that lower back. Ospreay trying to fight out of it. He does. Oh, will he steal it? Will he steal it with the roll up here? No. Ospreay keeps himself in this matchup a little bit longer, though. Uh-oh. Look at this. Oh, what a Pele kick. He certainly got himself a goal there. Is Ospreay, oh, again teasing us with possibly flying over the top rope. Seems like Will Ospreay not wanting to necessarily go all out just yet. Trying to get the lay of the land when battling Jericho here. Oh no, right into the air, on top of the apron, and then right in against the LED board. Oh my goodness. Jericho, you can definitely see those welts building up on the middle of that back, ladies and gentlemen. Now Jericho, he's not waiting for Ospreay to get himself back in the ring. He was trying to go right back at him, but I think that's a bad idea. I think that may have given Jericho the advantage at that time, ladies and gentlemen, because he could have literally just waited, but he decided not to. So we'll have to come back to this part of the matchup to really see, oh, hey, this really screwed him. Oh, what a maneuver there from Ospreay. Well, Ospreay has looked great tonight, and so has Jericho. This has been a great kickoff to the NXT Deadline pay-per-view. Going to be coming up in just 6 weeks' time. We heard from Adam Pearce earlier on tonight saying that there's a big announcement from Sting. We'll kind of be looking forward to that as well. And we'll really have to see what the tag team division is going to be looking like as well, because we saw Pretty Deadly attack the Undisputed Era after that massive triple threat tag team matchup at NXT TakeOver. That big elbow connecting the middle of the back there, Jericho. Will that be enough to put away? No, again, 2.5. Jericho staying in this matchup. I don't know how much more this man can take. Ospreay now. Uh-oh. Gonna look to go for that Ospreay clash once more. And, uh-oh. Still not done. Signaling one more time here. Ospreay off the ropes. Maybe just getting a warm-up in. Oh, going for the cutter. Didn't really work out in his favor, obviously. And now Jericho all fired up here. Jericho gonna look to put away Ospreay right now. This is a back and forth matchup, putting on a clinic. Both men are, but a hell of a matchup. Uh-oh, Jericho, is he thinking? Oh, I thought maybe again he might have been trying to think maybe for walls of Jericho, and certainly why not? And look at Ospreay. He's rolling out of the way. He should have rolled out of the ring, honestly. As now Jericho spinning elbow, but he misses again. He's able to hit it once tonight, but trying to go off the ropes. I think I've ever seen him really hit that maneuver once, honestly, off the rebound like that. Jericho now trying to make sure Ospreay away from the ropes, which is a veteran maneuver. You kind of have to. And now Jericho, I think he was thinking walls of Jericho. Ospreay had that well scouted, especially with how long Jericho hasn't been in this business. You have to scout this man. Oh, and a big elbow from Jericho. Oh, Ospreay, Bayley kick to Jericho. Takes down Jericho just like that, but now Jericho with his own kick to the face. Man, this match has been off the charts, ladies and gentlemen. Jericho now, spinning elbow. Is that gonna be it? 1, 2. Oh no, and Will Ospreay somehow gets his shoulder up, that right shoulder. How in the hell are these guys doing it right now? The elbow seemed like it was going to be enough, but certainly doesn't look like it is at this moment. Jericho just saying, what else do I got to do, man, to put him away? And oh, the kip up there from Ospreay. And now this young man and Jericho going to go to war even more. Right into that brutal super kick there from Ospreay. And Ospreay now going to go for that almost like that silencer type of maneuver again. Is that going to be up? But no, the rope break. The rope break saves Jericho again. Man, this is honestly a clinic. An absolute clinic right now. And now again, Will Ospreay has him up. Is he thinking about the silencer one more time? Yes, he does. Ospreay, certainly that has to be it for that second one, correct? Yes, it is. Ospreay had to dig down deep, ladies and gentlemen, but certainly showed you guys why he is certainly one, if not the best NXT signing. Jericho dug down deep, but it wasn't enough to put away Ospreay. We saw multiple variations of styles clashes tonight. And look at that silencer there from Will Ospreay. Down went Jericho, and Will Ospreay is your first ever Iron Survivor. I guess you could say first ever occupant in the Iron Survivor matchup. Big way for this man, Will Ospreay. And oh, look at Will Ospreay. He's shaking his finger at him. Will Ospreay just going to take this in. Why not? It's no suicide dive. Suicide dive right there to Jericho. And Ospreay going to rub this in against Triss. Oh my goodness. A lot of people could say that Jericho deserves this beating that he's getting. I don't know if you could maybe say that. Certainly, a lot of people could say he definitely deserves this beating that he's getting right now. Those kendo stick shots are definitely not going to be feeling too good, certainly. And oh no. Ospreay on the outside here. The silencer again to Chris Jericho. Holy cow. What an opening bout. And now we get to wait for the much needed appearance of Sting. As Sting tonight will be out here, from what we understand from Adam Pearce anyway, is that we have a announcement that will be coming from the Icon Sting. As we are just officially 6 weeks away from deadline. You know, what does Sting have his sights on? Does he plan on maybe having a couple superstars, battle it out for an opportunity, just You never know what's on this veteran's mind, ladies and gentlemen. He is the icon for a reason. One of the best to ever do it, and his stint here in NXT has been awesome. And I'm looking forward to hearing what the icon has to say tonight. Your NXT United Kingdom champion, sold out venue here in Orlando, Florida, for the special edition of NXT Tonight. To be a champion in this business, it means that you've made it. You've made it to the pinnacle of sports entertainment or professional wrestling, however you see it. And I've done that with this United Kingdom Championship, and there's been a lot of massive names that have held this championship, but there is something that needs to be done with this championship. I have been on one of the hottest streaks of my whole entire career, and that includes WCW. I was rarely on the main roster on Monday Night Raw, and I had a matchup with The Undertaker at last year's WrestleMania, which didn't go my way. I would love to get in the ring with The Undertaker one more time, but first off, I want to do something with this United Kingdom Championship, like I said. I believe it's time to unify the NXT United Kingdom Championship with the NXT Championship. Since there's no NXT United Kingdom Championship brand, I believe this championship has a lot of worth, but I believe as such a major championship this is, I believe the two major champions should put them together. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I am officially calling out Kenny Omega, the NXT champion, and I am challenging him to a champion versus champion winner take all at NXT Deadline. So Kenny Omega, I know you're here tonight. Can you come on out? Well, it looks like the Stinger is gonna get his wish, at least in the terms of the NXT champion, Kenny Omega, making his way down to the ring. Kenny Omega was a part of that first ever NXT TakeOver War Games main event, where it was the Elite and Will Ospreay taking on the Judgment Day, and the Judgment Day would knock off the Elite and company. So we'll see what Kenny Omega and Sting will have to say face to face. Sting wants himself basically a unification match live there, as a referee signaling for some security just in case this breaks down. But it looks like the Icon, Sting, and Kenny Omega face to face. Let's go ahead and see what they have to say here real quick. I knew one day, Sting, that our two paths would come together. And while certainly it is a little bit earlier than I expected, I will gladly take this matchup, and we can unify the NXT Championship and the NXT United Kingdom Championship at Deadline. It will be a pleasure and an honor to wrestle you in the center of that ring, Sting. May the best man win. Looking forward to it, Kenny, and the better man will win. I'll see you in 6 weeks, Kenny. Wow, wow, ladies and gentlemen, my jaw is on the floor right now. That is absolutely a shocking announcement. We are going to have a unification matchup where the NXT Championship and the NXT United Kingdom Championship will be unified live there at NXT Deadline. How crazy is that? Sting versus Kenny Omega in a singles matchup that is bound to blow off the roof. It's already going to be a massive night with the Iron Woman Survivor matchup, and then you also have the men's Iron Survivor matchup. So, I'm like I mentioned, my jaw's on the floor. I'm just trying to still recover from that. But right now, we're going to see former NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez looking to qualify and to become the first woman to qualify for that Iron Woman Survivor matchup. But it is not going to be easy, as she'll be taking on the ever dangerous Sonya Deville. She has looked really good over the past, I'd say, half a year. Honestly, she's gotten better, especially ever since coming here to NXT. She even turned on her friend Piper Niven at one time when they were NXT Tag Team Champions. Even got recruited with Chelsea Green here. Chelsea Green's been a big help. We'll see how Sonya Deville will be faring a part of this major NXT deadline qualifying matchup. So this is the total of 2 of the 10 women that are trying to qualify. Only 5 women can get into that Women's Iron Survivor matchup. You got Sonya Deville. You got Chelsea Green, Mikito Satomura, Zoey Stark, Ivy Nile, Ava Raine, Nikita Lyons, as the referee rings the bell, Cora Jade, and Blair Davenport. Awesome. Especially you got main event talent and also a mixture of women that are trying to make a name for themselves. So it's always good to see, talent that are just so close to making it to the top or close to at least making a name for themselves, getting that opportunity. And I believe you're seeing it on both sides. And I think Adam Pearce choosing the total of 10 superstars from both sides, men's and women's, I guess more of a total of 20, 10 for men, 10 for women, to try to earn themselves an opportunity. It's an honor, honestly. Let's look at Roxanne just wrenching in on that left knee. We know how dangerous those kicks of Sonya Deville's are, so you definitely got to keep an eye out, especially in this type of matchup. And it looks like Roxanne, it seems like she definitely has a game plan. It's going to go for those legs. Like I mentioned, those kicks of Sonya Deville, those are very, very brutal. And talking about the women's matches, we're going to be seeing Ava Raine and Zoey Stark later on tonight. I believe it's actually up next after this women's matchup. We'll see who the first Iron Survivor qualifier will be for the women's division tonight. It's a big-time Russian leg sweep. And I was just about to say, honestly, when was Chelsea Green going to get involved in this matchup? And, well, certainly didn't even have to say it. She read my mind. And just like that, that gives Sonya Deville the advantage. And if you get Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green in that matchup, those 2 women could very well take over that matchup. They could very well work together. Certainly it's every woman for themselves, but certainly Chelsea Green or even Sonya Deville, if they were both able to qualify into that matchup, certainly they could work it together at times to dominate the field and kind of have it where it comes down to both of those women. Certainly, why not? Is now Roxanne going to drag Sonya Deville over here as Chelsea Green just introduced a steel chair. Sonya Deville running right through Roxanne, but Roxanne didn't like that, and now a big old Luthez press takes it there to Sonya Deville. Pinfall opportunity with the hook of the leg. Will this be enough? But no, plenty fight left in Sonya Deville here. Went for that stomp, but Sonya Deville a little bit faster in the exchange here. And for Deville, if she's able to knock off Roxanne, not only does that qualify her, but I think that will help Sonya Deville continue to get herself to where she wants to be, and that's that NXT Women's Championship. Certainly with Roxanne, she calls herself the Prodigy. Certainly she's looked very well in her young career here in NXT, being a former NXT Women's Champion, and it's only going to get better, certainly. From former NXT Women's Tag Team Champion to former NXT Women's Champion. It's like I mentioned, she is definitely the future of this business, and we can see it every time. Win or loss, she's continued to be one of the best here in NXT. As Roxanne with a cross-face to Sonya Deville, nowhere to go, center of the ring. She may have to go tap out right now. Almost she can have Sonya Deville or have Chelsea Green save her right now. She's in the center of the ring. And she's able to roll through, though. And now we are at a stalemate. Going for that sliding, I guess you could call it a sliding basement dropkick or something. I don't know what you want to call it. Basement slide. Didn't work out in her favor no matter what. And now Roxanne with that arm drag takedown. Gonna go for the pinfall opportunity. Could this be enough? And it is. Roxanne picks up the win, and she'll be the first woman to qualify for the Iron Woman Survivor matchup that happens in just 6 weeks' time. May not be the biggest finish you'd ever seen, but it certainly worked out. It wasn't the prettiest, but she got it done, and Roxanne is getting herself a match at NXT Deadline. And now we just witnessed one woman qualify. Let's go ahead and see who the next woman will be, as there is Ava Raine, who was briefly with Joe Gacy at one time, but that went out the window. Joe Gacy's all by himself, and so does Ava Raine, as she will now continue to go her singles direction. She is the daughter of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Certainly, she may not want to live in that, I guess, I don't know if you want to say shadow, but certainly when you're the son or daughter of a major WWE Hall of Famer, a major name, especially of The Rock, certainly you want to build up your own legacy. Certainly, a perfect example is Charlotte Flair. Ric Flair is her dad, the 16-time World Heavyweight Champion. So we'll see if Ava Raine can build up her legacy, and especially in this tournament. She takes on a former NXT Women's Tag Team Champion, that being Zoey Stark. Zoey Stark, she had a heck of a women's breakout tournament. Came down to her and Tiffany Stratton. Ultimately, Tiffany Stratton would walk out victorious in the tournament, and it would lead to Tiffany Stratton ultimately becoming the NXT Women's Champion a couple months ago. So we'll see if Zoey Stark can kind of build up the momentum she had from that tournament, and see if she can get herself a win tonight and get herself into that massive Iron Woman match. Referee rings the bell. Here we go. Oh, Zoey Stark kicking us off fast with that big springboard cross body. And sometimes you gotta start off fast. Sometimes you gotta come out there and say, oh, hey, I don't think my opponent's going to be suspecting this maneuver. Hey, let's go high risk. Maybe they're going to think I'm going to go with more of a ground and pound game. You just never know. And I think what Zoey Stark did to kick us off at this matchup was a great idea. Certainly, Ava Raine's going to have to deal with one of the better NXT women on this roster, so this is a big proving point to really see where Ava Raine is at in her career early on here. As now Zoey Stark looking at just going to do that abdominal stretch. It may not look like it's doing too much, but it will definitely help out later on in this matchup, you would assume. As now, oh, look at this. Ava Raine with a big head scissors takes down Zoey. Oh, and what a boot. Just decapitating Zoey Stark momentarily. But Stark again with that springboard crossbody and turning inside out. Ava Raine, now Stark, high risk from the second rope. Oh, big time frog splash there, missing. And let's see if Ava Raine can capitalize now. And could you imagine if we got Zoey Stark and Tiffany Stratton later down the road? How massive that would be, ladies and gentlemen. Just in the terms of, hey, they were in a part of that NXT Women's Breakout Tournament finals. Yeah, Zoey Stark was a runner-up to it, wasn't able to get the job done, but ultimately she's able to get a win tonight and then eventually win that Iron Woman Survivor matchup. And then, her versus Tiffany Stratton or whoever may be the NXT Women's Champion. I mean, all of it could come to a head. Obviously, those four other women in that matchup are going to have something to say about it. As now Zoey here. Oh, that running knee strike takes down Ava Raine. Zoey Stark not done, though. What is she thinking? Are we about to see that Z360? Yes, we do. Right to the temple, and certainly that may be all she wrote, and it is. Big win for Zoey Stark tonight. Ava Raine going to have to go back to the drawing board. But now, two massive names so far in the Women's Iron Survivor matchup. Roxanne Perez was the first, and now Zoey Stark will be in as number 2. Absolute big win for Zoey Stark tonight as we get ready for the men's matchup. Undisputed Era, you took away something that we really, really love and desperately want back, and that is those NXT Tag Team Champions. Yeah, you say you run NXT. Well, if you run NXT, then you'll defend those NXT Tag Team Championships at NXT Deadline. Yes, boy. How about that? Yes, boy. How about that? Yes, boy. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Your co-main event of the evening is going to be Dragon Lee versus the NXT debut of Jay White. Dragon Lee has certainly had himself some big-time matches in his short stint here in NXT. He's been very impressive, but we'll see if he can get himself a matchup live there at NXT Deadline. Massive matchup we saw earlier on tonight. Will Ospreay defeating Chris Jericho, and then Ospreay would put a little bit of a, I guess you could say a little bit of a cherry on top of the sundae by beating down Chris Jericho after the matchup, basically sending a message to the total of 10 superstars in the men's qualifying that are trying to become qualified part of this Iron Survivor matchup. As we wait for the former Bullet Club leader, Switchblade Jay White. This is a big name there, New Japan Pro Wrestling. We saw what he brought to the table there at NXT TakeOver War Games, where we saw it was Jay White, Malachi Black, Wardlow, and MJF walking out victorious against their company there at NXT TakeOver. It was a good back and forth NXT TakeOver matchup, but ultimately Jay White and company walked out victorious. It's a good back and forth matchup, and it was one of those matches where at times it was hard to call with just how damn good it was. It was Bryan Danielson, Jon Moxley, Cesaro, and Samoa Joe were the team that Jay White, Malachi Black, MJF, and Wardlow were facing. So, I mean, it wasn't easy, but Jay White was able to help his team to victory, and we'll see if Jay White can earn himself his NXT debut victory, but it won't be easy when he takes on Dragon Lee just here in a moment. Big opportunity for both men, but we need a winner. Who's it gonna be? Referee rings the bell. Here we go. And look at Jay White slowing down Dragon Lee very, very quickly. Certainly, why not? You gotta slow down Dragon Lee. It's all about that Lucha Libre style flying around here. If you can slow down any Lucha Libre superstar to where, you know, they're going to be ground based and they can't do what they want to do, you're going to have the momentum for the most part. I'm not saying that Lucha Libre style won't eventually catch up to you, but essentially you just got to try to slow them down as much as you can. And if you have to, throw them to the outside and work on as much as you can as that big sunset powerbomb. Will that be enough to steal a win? But no. Dragon Lee trying to end it very quickly as, oh my goodness, what a maneuver. What a maneuver from Dragon Lee taking down Jay White. And Jay White momentarily could be in trouble here. Jay White trying to slow down Lee, and I think that definitely will help him with some snake eyes on the hardest part of the apron. See if he'll switch a little bit of anything, honestly, down. Jay White says his intentions are for going after that NXT Championship as an eye rake right to the template. And for Jay White, like he said, going after that NXT Championship, he doesn't care who he has to go through. He doesn't have any friends here in NXT. Doesn't have a friendship with Malachi Black, MJF, or even Wardlow. So certainly it's something that the Switchblade is going to have his sights on. It's going to be all by himself. We'll see if he can do that in NXT. As he could lose this matchup very, very quickly, but able to kick out. Let's look at that standing Spanish fly from Dragon Lee, continuing to be very impressive. The thing that I found very interesting, a part of that interview recently there on NXT is Jay White was talking to Corey Graves about, hey, what you don't think I could bring the Bullet Club to NXT? I thought that was very interesting. Maybe build his own NXT Bullet Club here, which would be very, very intriguing. As that eye rake to the face there from Dragon Lee, you never know. And certainly with the big name talent that NXT has been signing over the last couple months, with the likes of Will Ospreay, certainly with Switchblade Jay White here as well, and then Malachi Black returning to NXT after years and years of being on the main roster. Referee is at a 6 now. Both men need to start getting themselves back inside this ring here. Jay White now. No, what a snap suplex to Dragon Lee. Be ashamed to have ourselves a double count out. That'd be absolutely horrendous. And look at least Jay White is considering at least to make sure that he wins this match inside of the ring instead of a count out. Don't really know where Jay White really is going to be going to. Is look at that. Oh my goodness. A variation of a almost, I'd like to call it a Sister Abigail. A little bit of a tribute to Bray Wyatt there. Will that be enough to put away Dragon Lee here? 2. No. Kicking out is Dragon Lee. Not enough damage done just yet. And what clubbing blows there. I mean, those could be knockout blows, honestly. We'll see if that's enough for the Switchblade, but not just yet. Dragon Lee's a fighter until the bitter end, ladies and gentlemen. He's not going to back down. Oh, what a forearm. What a beautiful reversal. And Dragon Lee going to turn this match inside out. What is Dragon Lee thinking now? Go for that clothesline, but Jay White had it scouted, and now he's going to make Dragon Lee pay with a brutal suplex, dropping him on his head. That may be all she wrote. No, again. Impressive kick out from Dragon Lee. Imagine how this is going to feel for Jay White if he's not able to win his debut match in NXT. Especially with these marquee moments. You want to kick us off fast. You want to start off with the momentum, but there's been times here in Universe Mode where superstars that make their debut, they don't necessarily win right away. Doesn't mean they can't eventually get into something. As what another massive maneuver from Dragon Lee. But look at the Switchblade back up to his feet as both men attempting of a drop kick of sorts. So, I mean, it does take time here. It is not easy to win on whatever roster you are. It's all about timing and, honestly, who your general manager puts you up against. There's so many good superstars on all these rosters. It is just not easy to kind of really contain a winning streak of sorts. And certainly when you think of a man like when you think of a man like Jay White facing a man like Dragon Lee, you think, holy crap, this matchup could go either way, because certainly, you know, Dragon Lee he's had impressive matches. He's faced off with major talent. But, you know, it's just one of those things where, oh, okay, hey, Jay White, he's did all this stuff on the independent scene, he's going to smash through. No, that's not the case. At least in this scenario at this very moment. So we'll see how this matchup goes as Dragon Lee got Jay White back in the ring here, going for a big clothesline. Dragon Lee starting to fire himself up here. We'll see if this will start getting something going for Lee here. White back up to his feet just like that. Pure adrenaline. As look at that maneuver there from Dragon Lee. Is that gonna be enough? 2. Jay White kicking out at the very last second. Holy crap. And now, oh, Jay White had that the very last second as well. And now Dragon Lee with his own reversal. Back and forth we go here. And counter after counter. Enzuigiri to take down Jay White. This is anyone's ball game, ladies and gentlemen. Massive moment in this matchup. Dragon Lee bringing the fight here. Uh-oh. What is Dragon Lee thinking here? Gonna go for that another big maneuver. And down goes Jay White. Pinfall opportunity. Will he be able to get out of it? And oh, that shoulder, I believe, there of Jay White able to get himself out of it momentarily. Oh, and a big forearm strike there from Jay White, able to block it. But now, they're just as fisticuffs from Dragon Lee. Oh, and a nice enziguri helps him out as well. Oh, and now it's Jay White's turn to maybe finally get some momentum going here. Both men in a stalemate. And no, big kick there. And now another one. Jay White now setting up for something. Has something in mind for Dragon Lee. Uh-oh. Oh my goodness. The switchblade there to Dragon Lee. 3. Jay White picks up a massive win over Dragon Lee. And Jay White will be joining Will Ospreay at NXT Deadline in that Iron Survivor matchup. And that means for the men's and women's divisions, we'll be seeing a total of 3 more matches on the road to NXT Deadline.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the NXT North American Championship.
It is main event time, ladies and gentlemen. The Dawn of NXT, the NXT Men's Breakout Tournament winner. He is cashing in that opportunity against Mustafa Ali. So it was a triple threat matchup this past weekend where we saw Mustafa Ali participating in, would come up a bit short, and well, Tony D'Angelo would attack Mustafa Ali at ringside and beat the living snot out of him and said he's coming for that championship and his career. And well, come to find out, the Don, like we mentioned, has officially used his breakout opportunity for this very matchup. But not only is that NXT North American Championship on the line, but so is Mustafa Ali. Ali is going to have to try to out-wrestle and just out-survive Tony D'Angelo. And for what Tony's doing, this is honestly surprising. This is a whole different side of Tony D'Angelo, the Don of NXT. We're seeing a whole different side, like I mentioned. So absolutely craziness abound here, as there is your NXT North American champion. We talked to Mustafa Ali earlier on today, said this is going to be the biggest match of his career. At first it was going up against Christian Cage in that when he was NXT North American champion, but now that is, he has that target on his back, and certainly with his career on the line, he says this matchup is the biggest of his career, and that if he goes out tonight, he's going to go out in style. So we'll see if this will be the last matchup for Mustafa Ali here in Universe mode, or if he will continue his reign as NXT North American champion. I'm honestly not ready for it. I hope we see Ali for months and months. Such a talented superstar, and I believe he can go places with that NXT North American Championship, ladies and gentlemen. Especially with him knocking off Christian Cage a couple months back there at that NXT Takeover. So certainly, I think this is Ali's championship to lose tonight. He has too much to really lose in this matchup. I think he's gonna. I think he can do it. And there's the Don of NXT.
And his opponent from Chicago, Illinois, weighing in at 182 pounds. He is the NXT North American Champion, Mustafa Ali.
And there he is, your NXT North American Champion. The man that runs the division. Will that continue tonight? He certainly has a target on his back, and this man certainly he's certainly one of the underrated superstars here in series history, but I think he can definitely carry that North American Championship division on his back if he can continue this reign. But let's see how this goes. Tony D'Angelo, Mustafa Ali, your main event. It has officially started. Here we go. And for Tony D'Angelo, it's all about slowing down Ali. And even if you toss him out to the outside, or, I mean, even, like I mentioned, he, that different side of Tony D'Angelo, so we might see more of that aggressiveness come out of Tony D'Angelo, especially like what we saw there at NXT TakeOver. Certainly not something I was expecting Survivor Series weekend with Ali getting attacked by Tony D'Angelo, but certainly superstars get desperate at times, and certainly they believe it's their time to, I don't know, have a switch flipped, I guess, inside of them, and that's what Tony D'Angelo did. A lot of people were believing that Tony D'Angelo would be going after that NXT championship, but in reality, you can go after whatever championship you want to, and Tony D'Angelo believes that this is the right opportunity to just do that. Come right after that NXT North American Championship. As Tony D'Angelo with a big-time suplex takes down Ali. Ali going high risk. Will this work out for D'Angelo? Yes, it does. That big frog splash. But, ooh, the rope break saves the day for Ali. It saves not only his championship, but his career. And look at the Don. He is just eating this up right now. Oh, come on. Look at these kidney punches. I mean, it's perfectly legal, but come on. Don taking up too much time really to celebrate, and he hits a super kick to the back of the skull. And we just don't really know either, ladies and gentlemen, how close to 100% is Mustafa Ali after that beating. Not only was he in that triple threat matchup over the weekend, but certainly, with that brutal beating that D'Angelo gave to Ali after the matchup, being even put through a table, certainly it's not going to be feeling the best either. It's a big Russian leg sweep takes down Tony D'Angelo. This is what Ali needs to do. Speed up the pace here, and he is. Big time springboard DDT. And look, D'Angelo saying, hey, give me a second. Back and forth we go now. Oh, spinning. Kick to the ribs. Oof. You could hear that rib shot. It probably broke a rib, honestly. Oh, what a maneuver there from D'Angelo. Showing that agility. D'Angelo has so much potential, and so does Ali. Something's got to give, though, tonight. Is it D'Angelo's moment, or is it Ali's moment? Well, that clothesline didn't fully pull over Ali. Ali now surviving the moment. Almost treating it like a Royal Rumble type of thing situation, like to where, hey, he's not getting eliminated. He's going to continue to fight. Ali now going to show him how to do a clothesline, and down goes D'Angelo. And ladies and gentlemen, if you are just tuning in, we've had a massive night so far. We saw Sting come out. He called out Kenny Omega, saying that he would like to unify the NXT Championship and the NXT United Kingdom Championship, as Mustafa Ali with a face buster there to Tony D'Angelo. Is Ali going to go for the pinfall? No, he's not. Very surprising. Oh, he's gonna look to embarrass Tony D'Angelo right in front of our NXT cameras. Will D'Angelo have to tap out here? Referee literally right there just to make sure if he were to tap out. Oh, but what a elbow to the side of the temple. And now the Don has a mop. Oh, what a maneuver now. He's not done yet. Gonna turn it into that swinging neck breaker. What a maneuver. Is that it? 2. Now Ali fighting for his championship and his career, able to kick out at 2.5. What a matchup. Uh-oh. No. Tony D'Angelo has him up. No, not like this. Not like this. 1, 2, 3. Tony D'Angelo is your new NXT NXT North American Champion, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and not only that, Mustafa Ali no longer has a WWE contract. Oh, I'm in complete shock, ladies and gentlemen. Tony D'Angelo is the top guy now in NXT. And there's Tony D'Angelo realizing Mustafa Ali back up to his feet here. And now, come on. You did your damage, D'Angelo. You did what you wanted. Ali no longer has a career here in WWE. And now just beating the holy hell out of Mustafa Ali. He is busted wide open now and everything. I don't know, not the he's trying to rip open not just the eyes but that open wound on the forehead. Oh, this is just horrendous. Tony D'Angelo coming out here making a statement. And that statement as NXT North American Champion is the Don as ever crazy as, oh my God. Ali, I hope you'll be able to come back soon or sometime, because with Tony D'Angelo being your North American Champion, if you thought Christian Cage was bad, you could only imagine what the Don of NXT will pull out of his bag of tricks, ladies and gentlemen. This is not good whatsoever. Oh my goodness, right into the steel steps too. Oh man, can we get some security out here, please? There's gotta be somebody back there. Another wrestler, somebody. Come and break this up. Oh no. And there's that announce table. We saw it before once, and hopefully for Mustafa Ali's sake we won't see it as another suplex. Oh my goodness, Ali is getting a beating of a lifetime here. And Angelo is not done. If you guys have any children watching this right now, you may shy away from this right now, because we are witnessing a horrendous beating at the hands of Tony D'Angelo. And oh no. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we may be witnessing a little bit of the same taste of what we saw just over this past weekend. The Don of NXT gonna look to send a message to the whole NXT locker room. And now, big time snap suplex through the table, and the Don has laid out Mustafa Ali, and he no longer has a contract here in WWE. This beating is a senseless beating, and it means absolute everything right now for Tony D'Angelo to make his mark right now. Down goes Mustafa Ali, and that is all the time we have in store for you guys. Not the way we wanted to end this episode of NXT, but it will be the end of tonight's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys on SmackDown.